In tonight's episode of Retro Gaming Night, we take on Andros in
Starbuck.
Casually hardcore.
Place the game closing. Game news.
And casually hardcore.
Press start.
Hi there, I'm Mark and welcome to another episode of Retro Gaming Night. Today we're looking at Star Fox 64 for the Nintendo 64, also known as Lylat Wars. So Star Fox 64 is a sequel to the SNES game Star Fox, which was an on-rails shooter using the Super FX chip. In Europe, Star Fox was named Arwing because of legal reasons, and again because of legal reasons they couldn't use that name for the N64 sequel, so it was also called Lylat Wars in Europe. But because that's a terrible name, we're just going to call it Star Fox in this video. So what we're going to do is going to let you watch this intro sequence here, basically just get a general idea of what the game's about, and then we'll explain a bit more about why you should be playing it.
Take over Corneria. Our army alone can't do the job. Hurry, Starbuck.
So a couple of things here. Andros was mentioned there. He is the bad guy from the first game. He's back again to take over the Lylat system. You play as Fox McCloud, who is the son of James McCloud from the very first game, who died in it. Peppy Hare is back from the first game. Slippy Toad and Falco are new to this, new to the series, basically in this game. So you play as Fox McCloud, an on-rail shooter, flying a craft, and shooting everything in sight basically to help save the world. Now this game launched with the N64 Rumble Pack, something that had never been seen before and is now a staple in games history. Basically the N64 Rumble Pack slotted into the bottom of the controller was a motor that vibrated anytime there was an explosion or you banged into stuff. And this game is probably the best game ever to use a Rumble Pack or Rumble motor device. So obviously everyone else copied it. You got Dreamcast versions, PlayStation DualShock and so on. But no game has really quite matched this. Most games have kind of diluted how it works. But this game, every explosion is fantastic. The Rumble Pack is extremely powerful. And yeah, no game has matched it. And this is why you should play this game. Just for the use of the Rumble Pack. It is fantastic implementation in this game. But the game is fantastic itself anyway. So here, just a quick look at the menu. So you've got your main game, you've got your training just to get used to controls, you've got a versus mode. The versus mode is a 4-player split screen, I guess first person shooter, but obviously you're playing from your normal view. It's not very good because it's quite empty. There's a lot of space in this 4 tiny spaceships flying around trying to shoot each other. So you're really only going to play this for the single player. So as you can see on the map screen, you have 3 distinct paths. So you start off at the very bottom level there, and then from there you can change different paths depending on tasks you complete in the levels. So each level has different paths through it. You can swap and change at will, assuming you're good enough or you know the path exists. And we'll show you one of the paths later on in this video. So in this game, you are flying a craft. It's an on-rail shooter. You have lasers on the craft to shoot things, but you can collect more lasers as you fly along. You can collect bombs, and obviously you have to fly around avoiding obstacles at the same time. Now the key thing in this version of the game compared to the SNES is the voice acting. In the SNES you just had gibberish voices because cartridges could not hold lots of voice clips. The N64 itself can't do a lot of voice clips itself, but for this they somehow managed to squeeze a whole ton in. Now I think there's over 30 minutes worth of voice acting there, which doesn't sound a lot, but on an N64 cartridge that is more than you'd ever get on a normal game. And it really lends a cinematic feel to this game, which is what they've done with a lot of the levels. So there's an iconic level in here which is a take of Independence Day, which is a fantastic one to play, and there's lots of other fun levels in here which we'll discuss in a second. So the game is pretty simple. You can complete the game in about an hour or so just by going one route, but the replayability is in the different routes, in the different levels, and obviously there's a score attack as well. So when you shoot enemies, you can shoot them down one by one if you want to, or you can lock onto them. If you lock onto one and hit it and its explosion blows up another enemy, you get extra hits. So there is some score attack in there. There is a ranking mode if you enjoy playing that sort of thing. But for this, it is just fun to play and sit down for now and enjoy. There are other vehicles in the game, so there's a level with a submarine, which is quite interesting. There's also 2 tank levels, which are absolutely fantastic and just filled with pure charm and joy to play. In this there's a lot of moves, so you can do a thing called a barrel roll. So you're told that in the second level, and that's a famous meme you've probably heard before, and that comes from this game. Basically doing a barrel roll is where you push the Z trigger or the R trigger twice, depending if you're going left or right, to spin your craft and to bounce enemy lasers off you. The voice acting in this is hilarious. It's probably unintentionally so, but it's actually really well done. We're not talking Resident Evil levels here of laughing because it's really badly acted. It's actually quite well acted in a sort of cartoon, Sunday cartoon morning sort of way. So there's a lot of humour in here and just a lot of fun, and like I say, it's quite cinematic. There really isn't much to say about the game in terms of actual gameplay. It's quite limited, but what is there is extremely fun. What it does really well. So as you play through the game, you fly through these rings. Basically, if you get silver ones, they're extra health. If you get 3 gold ones, you increase your health bar. So there's all these little tiny mechanics in there to help out. Now, as I say, if you play as Fox McCloud, you have your co-pilots with you, and sometimes they ask for assistance and help. So as you can see here, Falco has got people following him. So now you can either chase up by using a speed boost, and with that you can take them down and help him out. And that means you've got him for the next level. If you'd let him die, that changes the level. So by letting him live, he also helps you open up the alternative routes. Or in the next level, if he didn't exist, we would be fighting a different boss. So most levels have multiple bosses, but obviously you can only fight one of them. As you can see here, you're flying into the screen basically, but there are 3 roam modes. So at the end of this level, there's 2 bosses. We're going to show you the second boss, which is the harder boss. But the first boss is the all-terrain mode, which gives you a 3D area where you have complete control of flying around the map. Now some of the levels are like that solely, so you have to fly around with hundreds of enemies on screen, taking them all down and doing whatever the objective is for that level, which generally involves shooting everything on sight that isn't you and your co-pilots. This game doesn't have deep mechanics in it, but it is so much fun to play. Now you're probably wondering which version do you buy? Do you buy the N64 version, the Virtual Console version, or the 3DS remake? Virtual Console version is probably the one to avoid, because it's just a basic game that has been emulated. Obviously you don't have the Rumble Pack, so you don't get to enjoy that. N64, you get the Rumble Pack, which is fantastic. It is such a huge part of this game. Without it, the game is extremely fun, but with it, it just adds that little extra that the game requires. The 3DS version increases the graphics, so the textures and the models have all been increased graphically. The sound is a little bit better, but of course you lose that Rumble Pack. It is a tough choice because the 3D effect on the 3DS version works fantastically well. But I think for our money, it's got to be the N64 version. It really is a Rumble Pack. That's why this game was made. Just as a quick anecdote, there was a Star Fox 2 in development for the SNES using the Super FX chip 2. This got cancelled when the game was pretty much complete, and if you look online in dodgy places for them ROMs, you can actually find a version that's playable all the way to the end with pretty much nothing wrong with it. So Miyamoto actually cancelled that game because he didn't want that game being released so close to the N64. Obviously the N64 got delayed, so that game never came out, but a lot of its features were put into this version of the game. So in a way, it's kind of a blessing in disguise. We actually got a better Star Fox game because of that cancelled game. So as you can see here, about to destroy the second boss in this level. And as you'll see, the explosions are huge, and the Rumble Pack is going off like crazy right now. You know, this is just a game to replay over and over again, lazy Sunday mornings. You just want to play something quickly with very little thought of what you need to do. You just want to have pure enjoyment. This is the game to play. So we're going to show a couple of clips from later on in the game, such as you controlling the tank. That is a huge amount of fun to play. It is definitely a game that you should get now. You should play it now. You can, in an hour, write some comments as well if you've played it already, because it is that short of a game. We know you definitely will enjoy it, and it's definitely one that's worth picking up. So until next time, stay casually hardcore.
I'm here to rescue you. Step on the gas. Step on the gas. No! Get the brake! Okay, stop it! Hurry up! Take out that core! Hurry up! Take out that core! Go find your own target, Fox! Hurry up! Take out that core! Hurry up! Take out that core! Fuck! Get out of here now! All aircraft breakaway!
Did you enjoy that video? Then hit that like button. Why not subscribe as well and get the latest videos, news and competitions? Don't forget to check out casuallyhardcore.com where you can buy hundreds of video game shirts and geek clothing, or make your own shirts with worldwide shipping also available. Until next time, stay casually hardcore.